Tactics, the podcast for everyone who designs digital learning, instructional designers, teachers, trainers, and learning professionals. In each episode, we focus on one concrete design strategy that improves learning effectiveness. Today, we focus on one tactic that addresses intrinsic motivation, autonomy first. Before we talk about solutions, it helps to look at what usually goes wrong. This issue appears in many digital learning formats. Many online courses are tightly controlled. Learners must click through content in a fixed order. Progress is locked behind completion rules. Deadlines are rigid. Every step is monitored. On paper, this looks like good structure. In practice, it often leads to disengagement. Learners stop making decisions. They focus on finishing, not understanding. Learning becomes compliance instead of commitment. To understand why this happens, we need to look at how learning works. Learning science offers a clear explanation for this. Autonomy First is grounded in self-determination theory. This theory explains human motivation across many domains, including learning. According to self-determination theory, people are most motivated when three basic psychological needs are supported: autonomy, competence, and social relatedness. Autonomy means experiencing choice and self-direction. Competence means feeling capable and effective. Relatedness means feeling connected to others. When these needs are supported, motivation becomes intrinsic. When they are undermined, motivation declines. Many digital learning environments unintentionally undermine autonomy. They replace choice with control. They replace trust with surveillance. The e-learning tactic Autonomy First reverses this logic. It treats learner autonomy not as a risk but as a design priority. Translated into concrete design choices, this leads to a simple principle. Design learning environments where learners can make meaningful decisions about their learning process. This does not mean removing structure. It means offering structure without coercion. What does this mean for design decisions in practice? Autonomy First starts by asking a different question. Not, how do I make learners do this? But where can learners decide for themselves? This becomes clearer when we look at a concrete example. Imagine an online course with 5 modules. Instead of forcing a fixed sequence, learners can choose the order. Core goals are transparent, but the path is flexible. Some learners start with theory, others begin with a practical case. Both reach the same learning outcomes. The learning goal stays stable. The learning path adapts. You may recognize this from your own courses. Often, the content itself is not the problem. The lack of choice is. So how can this be applied directly? This brings us to a few practical checks you can use immediately. First, check where learners can choose pace. Can they slow down, pause, or skip content they already know? Second, check where learners can choose sequence. Is the order fixed because it must be or because it always has been? Third, check where learners can choose depth. Are there optional extensions for those who want more? Fourth, check how feedback is framed. Does it support competence or does it mainly control behavior? Fifth, check whether every rule has a clear learning purpose. If not, it may be undermining autonomy. Before moving on, it is worth pausing for a moment. Autonomy does not mean leaving learners alone. Too much freedom without orientation can overwhelm. Autonomy First always balances freedom with clarity. Clear goals, transparent expectations, supportive feedback. Structure supports autonomy when it helps learners make informed choices. This is also where a common misconception appears. Autonomy First is not about removing guidance. It is about removing unnecessary control. Another pitfall is offering superficial choices. Changing colors or avatars does not support autonomy. Meaningful choices affect how learning unfolds. A final risk is avoiding difficult content. Some essential topics are not immediately attractive. Here, structure is still needed to ensure learning progress. Autonomy First does not eliminate responsibility. It redistributes it. This is a good point to reflect on your own designs. Where are learners currently following instructions without making decisions? And where could a small choice increase engagement? With that in mind, there is one simple step you can take today. Take one existing learning module, remove one unnecessary constraint, replace it with a clear choice. Observe what happens. This leads to a clear takeaway. Motivation in digital learning does not come from pressure, it comes from ownership. When learners experience autonomy, competence, and connection, learning becomes something they do willingly, not something done to them. Autonomy First is not about giving up control. It is about designing for motivated, responsible learners. Thanks for listening.